When I came here, it's like everything is amplified. I felt something from America come off of me. You have to realize how much people are ignorant to the modernization of Africa itself. This is not Africa 1920, 1930, 1940. This is Africa 2026. This is a place where I like to eat daily. They have the best vegan food to me in Ghana. Average meal costs about 200 to 300 CDs. That's between 20 to 30 bucks in USD. I have mercy because I understand infrastructure. It's a developing country. Ghana is only but 70, 80 years old. So when COVID just hit, I moved to a place called Las Vegas, Nevada. I shortly after moved back to Atlanta. I'm very spiritual, I try my best to keep Torah. I'm very biblical. I was praising, fasting, reading, and I fell asleep and had a dream to where the dream was very deep. It was very vivid, almost like a vision. So basically the sky opened up. I see like a building that's almost like a castle or kingdom hit the earth, boom. And the residue or the afterwaves that hit, obviously it was very impactful. Like it was, destroying everything in its path. And somebody covered me like this and was telling me, come, like go. But they were saying it in a language that I never knew. I researched the language, going deeper into the understanding of what the language was. And it was Tree, the native tongue of Ghanaians. Well, the main native tongue. They have many tongues. It was Tree. And that was my first supernatural urge to go to Ghana. Late 2025, I think, Donald Trump was about to be elected. And I started getting urges to go to Ghana again. It's like, this time it wasn't so super spiritual, it's more logical. I said a prayer, I said, Father, if you allow Donald Trump to get into office, I'll go to Ghana. When he was elected in office, I had to make good on my word or break a promise or internal promise that I made with the Creator. So at the time, financially, I was in a good place because I typically budget my money well. But to make a move, I prayed and I said, Father, if you want me to go to Ghana, if it's really you that wants me to go to this place, provide. When I say supernaturally, I got a streaming deal. I'm not gonna say how much, but he provided. I wasn't expecting Hollywood when I came. I was kind of in a down-to-earth perception already. I've done, like I said, I did extensive research. I watched YouTubers on top of YouTubers. I seen POVs, videos that express Ghana itself. So, I wasn't really culture shocked when I seen, okay, a ghetto. Okay, the sewage system. I wasn't culture shocked. But one thing I would say, my first impression was more energetic. It's a certain energy or vibration in Ghana. And I don't mean the people and the hustle and the bustle. I mean spiritually. Like as soon as you get off the plane, you're gonna realize I'm in a different spiritual atmosphere. If you're sensitive to that type stuff, which I am. I don't like to, overly put spiritualism on people, but that's one thing I cannot negate. Like when I came here, it's like everything is amplified. I felt something from America come off of me without being too hocus pocus, you know what I mean? When it comes to finances, it's not about how much you come with. Savings is secondary. It's about how much you constantly earn. Right, let me give you an example. Say I came here with $20,000, right? And the cost of living a month from the top to the bottom in Ghana, food, if you're eating out, is from 200 CDs to 300 CDs a meal average, the way I eat. That's $20 to $30 a meal. If you're buying groceries, it's anywhere from 600 CDs to 1,000 CDs. So groceries is fairly cheap for me, right? Say you have your phone bill. Phone bill, everything is prepaid due to Momo, Telecel, and things of that nature. They don't do the month to month, which is better for me because if you top up all your minutes as much as you can, it goes according to your usage. So if you're on the phone a lot, you're going to be spending a lot. But I'm not a phone guy, right? I'm a Wi-Fi guy. So my bill is fairly, it's balanced. But my Wi-Fi bill a month be anywhere from like 100 a month. And the internet is second tier. I'm gonna be honest. I traveled to many places where the internet was better than Ghana, but I have mercy because I understand infrastructure. It's a developing country. Ghana is only but 70, 80 years old. So keep that in mind. With all of the expenses that I actually expressed to you, if I'm spending on a consistent rate monthly, that 20,000 is going to eventually go down. But say I have a remote job from the US. Say I'm a content creator that earn American dollars. Say I'm a musician like myself or artist or, someone that has a company that's online and I'm earning a steady amount weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. Say I'm pushing out marketing and I'm collecting dollars and I'm converting them. I guarantee you my stream of income will outlive your savings of 20K. When yours is going down, you're not adding no new money. Ghana is about new money. Savings only makes sense when you're trying to stabilize yourself. Get a place, get a car, relocate, move. But when it comes to everyday life, just as often as you utilize things, that's how often you need to replenish your income. So it actually opened up my hustle 10x, like 10x. Ghana, that's one thing about Ghana. Ghana will open up your hustle if you already have drive. I start to look at situations on how I can provide solutions based on seeing a problem. So basically, it opened up my business mind, which I'm very grateful for. It's an increase when it comes to service. It's the same when it comes to goods. It's a decrease when it comes to standard. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean. Okay, when it comes to service, if you want someone to clean your house, or if you want a maid, if you will, cleaner, I like that term better, it's more respectful. If you want a cleaner, right? If you want a driver, if you want a chef, if you want a guardman, like a security, if you want these things, they're way more affordable here. Way more affordable. A chef could run you anywhere from, including ingredients that you buy, anywhere from 1,000 CDs to 2,000 CDs. That's $100 to $200. And that's like for the month. With $200 converted to 2K, you can literally buy food for 600 CDs and then they'll meal prep it for the month. At least that's what price I was quoted. So the cost of living when it comes to service, it's a major upgrade. But I think that's the norm for anything outside of the US. Go try to find a maid service in US or chef service in US. You're gonna spend that $200 for one sitting, and that don't count food. So it's uncomparable, right? Now, when it comes to standard of living, real estate is starting to increase. I'm seeing more American prices, but they give you more bang for your buck still here. Like you'll get a furnished place, 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom, patio, the whole works, You'll get something like anywhere from $700 to $1,500, depending on the location you are. But overall, it's cheaper than America because it has more amenities. Try finding a furnished apartment in America, period. It's just, it's rare, slim to none. Now with the decrease, meaning like when I say it's the decrease of standard of living, a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment might be less luxury than you're used to coming from America. Although they have luxury apartments here, don't get it twisted. But I'm saying the average apartment here has a less luxury feel than the average apartment in America? Well, I am a content creator. I am an artist. I am a producer. I am an audio engineer. I buy and sell e-commerce. I buy and sell physical products. I make brands. I endorse brands. I have a celebrity clientele here that I actually advertise for some of my brands. Shout out to Shatta Wale. I employ people. I have about 7 to 10 employees, give or take. I have a personal assistant, really two. I have 2 personal assistants, one for my business and one for my personal. I have a driver. I have a security. So I try to provide jobs in Ghana as much as I can, but I do it in a responsible way according to my own ability. Basically, I feel and I know that me moving to Ghana wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. Now, I have yet to travel to every part of Ghana. I've been to Cape Coast. I've been to Kumasi twice. I want to go to Volta. I want to go to Abri because I heard that's where Jamaicans kind of fit in. That's what I heard. Northern, I want to try Tamale. I heard the food is crazy. So I don't necessarily have a breaking point, but I would say this. I kind of procrastinated to get my tickets, ship my things, relocate, find real estate in Accra. I was stuck in the research mode of how the things are, the conversions of the dollar to the cedis, and cedis is the currency in Ghana. And while all of this occurred, someone broke into my vehicle. And for me, things like that typically don't happen. I just took that as a sign as like, okay, you dragging your foot on something I commanded you to do, right? So with that being said, the pressure started to squeeze because he provided the money. When the money came, I literally had no excuse but to go to Ghana. Okay, I'll be honest, I didn't really tell anyone. I feel like I'm of age. I didn't want the naysayers in my ears. I didn't want anyone to talk me out of something that I felt so strongly spiritually resolved to do. Of course, I told my immediate family. I told people important to me, and they was overall supportive. My mom was more supportive than my dad was, but it was based off of their perception of Africa. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to realize how much people are ignorant to the modernization of Africa itself. This is not Africa 1920, 1930, 1940. This is Africa 2026. So I don't think there's any place on earth today that's so underdeveloped that they lack common technology.
So guys, YouTube told us that 72% of you guys watching have not subscribed. Maybe you forgot. Please do subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, it's free. That's how you show your support to us, and we promise to bring you an amazing content every week, twice a week at this point. So please subscribe now and stay tuned to Webnation Africa.
All right, what we doing? Charlie's Chicken, my homie, my bro.
What up, though? Welcome.
My brew.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
What you got going on, bro? Tell us about your brand. I know you had Jerk Soul.
Yes, sir.
Had Ghana on a lot.
Yeah, and America.
And America.
Let's not forget.
Let me just let you tell it.
Yeah, man. Well, first and foremost, man, welcome, bro.
Thank you.
Welcome to Chalet Chicken, and we're here in wonderful Medina, right off the campus of the University of Professional Studies at Accra, UPSA. And Chalet Chicken, man, Chalet Chicken is kind of like what you would find in the urban cities in America. A fried fish and fried chicken local
like
spot.
a JJ's.
Like a J&J fish.
KFC.
Exactly, but better.
But
Much better, exactly. What inspired the whole menu is, so I'm from Chicago. Okay.
Shout out
And we got a bunch of fish and chicken spots.
Right.
Right. And so not only myself, but a lot of the members of the diaspora here, we kind of miss some of the fried chicken and fried fish. They do a lot of grilling out here.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is fine. But it's just something about fried fish, man. It just, you start to remember like your childhood and stuff like that. It's nostalgic. So, But anyway, at the end of the day, what I wanted to do was not just like pieces of chicken. I was like, man, what's gonna give me some distinction? What's gonna separate me from everybody else? Because people that are doing chicken, they doing like pieces of chicken, leg, wing, thigh, blah blah blah.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna kind of do kind of like a wing stop kind of style. Nobody's out here just doing tenders. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just do tenders. Okay, premium jumbo chicken tenders. Yes, sir, with different flavors of sauces. Lemon pepper wet, mango barbecue, a really, really hot green pepper sauce and a red pepper sauce and Dijon mustard, just different flavors, ranch that you can't really get around.
It's very hard for me to merge with the community here due to the language barrier, due to the race difference. Ghanaians don't really look at us as Ghanaians, even though we're descendant of Ghanaians. They still look at us as Americans. Or they like to use the word Abroni, which means white man or foreigner. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes we get challenges when it comes to that. Like we, as in expats, we get challenges culturally. But when it comes to business, we are respected, but it is what it is. No place is perfect. You have your one or two that will embrace you. They embrace American culture. People that be on TikTok, content creators that's like educated and modernized. It's good and bad everywhere. Like I don't seek community too much, but what I do seek is opportunity of how I can help and be helped. The traditionalism of the women here, I don't know, they're naturally soft. And I mean that in a tonal way. Like their energy, their spirit is soft. It's like, if I read the Bible of what a woman should be, right, as far as personality or expression, and I compare it to the women in Africa, there is a close similarity, except for one or two things. You got your good or bad. I'm not saying they're the perfect species on the planet Earth. What I am saying is, though, it's a clear difference of traditionalism. Like, they seem to respect men more here. In society, here, men are actually the rulers or the leaders in society. I like that aspect. Of course, I like the diversification of, culture, but the more we advance in the West, like Western society and culture, the less traditionalism survives. And I'm just not a fan of that. I'm a hopeless romantic. I like the thought of marriage and family. I like dad working, mom cooking, cleaning. I'm traditional. Like, that makes me a bad guy. Bad guy. My unexpected challenges were the language barrier. I didn't know how difficult it would be to communicate in certain ways. Although they speak English, right? They can be saying one thing and it means something different than what I'm saying. Or if I speak English too fast, right? Or if I start to use too much syllables in my English, there's a disconnect there linguistically. I'm trying my best to express it. It's a difference in culture. So I would say another unexpected challenge would be the roads. That's one thing I was not used to. Like, trying to find Uber and Bolt in an area where the roads are bad is harder. They negotiate real estate pricing around the road quality. So if you're in a neighborhood where the roads are good, expect to pay more rent. If you're in a neighborhood where the roads are bad, it's typically more affordable. That was strange to me. It wasn't a challenge per se, but it was a cultural shock for me. I'm like, roads? How is roads a real estate point of sale? But once you arrive to Ghana and you realize how things are done here and, you know, what's considered a delicacy or what's considered first class here, you quickly adapt to what and why things are priced the way they're priced. That's my favorite part about Ghana, is the peace of mind. With Ghana, it's like this. As long as your home is comfortable and you're secure with satisfaction of where you live, as long as your roof ain't leaking, as long as you got AC, as long as you got, you know, Wi-Fi, cable, anything that creates your safe haven. For me, I got my home studio. For me, I have my creation room. I have cable, Wi-Fi, TV, the whole nine. And once your home is comfortable, the peace of mind is unmatched. You cannot match it. Can't match it. It don't even feel real. Sometimes it feel like mystical. Like the peace is almost like the feeling you get when you're on vacation. Like a spiritual sedation, if you will. I'll be honest, it was overly worth it. I'm gonna say it, Ghana has 10x every aspect of my life. My content output is 10x because I have less stress to work in order to pay bills, because their system of bills is half a year and annually. I pay 6 months in advance or a year in advance for rent. My phone is prepaid, but it still has data, call and text, the same thing any other plan in America would have. But I'm not hustling, bustling just to get a phone bill paid every month. You know what I'm saying? And the conversion rate is 10x. Literally, $1 is about 10 CDs. So with that being said, it's almost as if it's a no-brainer. Like, it was one of the best decisions I made. I'm glad I listened to the creator and came. Now, it awakened my hustle. It 10x my income. It 10x my peace. It actually changed me in an internal way as well. It made me more stable in my emotions. A lot of my emotions stabilized here, and I had to realize that it was based on the environment and the food. There's no way going around it. In my opinion, who shouldn't move are the people that has an inability to respect culture, the people that has an inability to adapt to a lesser luxury. If you're going to complain about, I don't know, if you're going to complain about bad roads to the point that it's going to affect you mentally or emotionally, I'm not going to say toughen up, but Ghana might not be a place for you. If you're a person that's so emotional, every interaction that feels negative sends you into a spiral of, you know, flight or fright. If you're overly sensitive, Ghana's not for you. If you are bad with your money, Ghana's not for you. If you emotionally spend, Ghana's not for you. If you don't have a remote income, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you don't have a way to bring in USD monthly or earn CDs on a consistent basis, Ghana's not for you. One of my strongest suits is adaptability. If you're good at adapting, Ghana is for you 100%. Advice I will give to you is connect. Connect with your inner self, connect with the creator, see the vision, make it plain. Don't just impulsively do anything, especially when it comes to Africa. Because once you fall here, once things go to ruins here, it's very harder to get back on your feet. Yes, there's help, but it's less government assistance to help a mess up. It's less welfare. There's no really welfare on a stabilized level to help you. Yes, they have amenities of luxuries. Yes, they have clubs. Yes, they have restaurants, 5-star, like Move and Pick. That's a 5-star restaurant. Hotels. They have cars, musicians. Ghana is not behind when it comes to modernization, but when it comes to infrastructure, they're still building. So keep that in mind. You have to be your own infrastructure. When it comes to medical, you get the best services when you have the money. I'm giving you the facts. I'm not giving you sugarcoating anything. I'm not. That's my advice. Be prepared, be willing, and be open, be adaptable. I'm gonna keep saying that. You have to adapt. adapt, adapt. Don't come here expecting America. It's not America.